Hola, mi amigos. Oh, I just realized I don't know how to say my name is in Spanish. That's really sad. Okay. My name is Liz, and if you haven't seen my other videos, I'm a teacher, and teach English, and I also tutor students, prepare them for the SAT, for writing college entrance essays, pretty much anything that has to do with grammar, literature, or writing is those things are my specialty. Okay. So today I want to talk a little bit about the SAT essay, and I know you are saying to yourself, but Liz, the SAT essay is optional. I don't have to write it. And that's not true. You really have to write it. Especially considering how many students are applying to college these days and how competitive it is. If a college has a panel together and they're looking at who to admit, you could have an excellent SAT score, but you can almost guarantee that someone else will have an excellent SAT score, and on top of that excellent score, they will have written an excellent essay. And of course, that is the person who's going to make it in to the college. All right, so tip number 1 is write the essay. Okay. Once you've come to grips with the fact that you need to write this essay, the next thing you need to do is familiarize yourself with it. So, fortunately for me, and unfortunately for you, back in the day when I took the SAT, the essay was a lot easier. And I know I look like I'm 12, but I'm actually closer to 30, so it was a little while ago. So back in the day, they'd say something like, "Oh, tell us about a time that changed your life." It was like being on Oprah. You're sitting on the couch telling them your life story. And now it has nothing to do with you at all whatsoever. So for the SAT essay, it will occur at the end of the test, whenever you are the most exhausted and when you desperately just want to go home. But you need to write the essay. Okay. It's at the end of the test. And you'll be given a source text or an article written by a decent writer. And the source text may be historical in nature, it may be scientific, it could be pretty much anything. So there's no way to prepare for what source text you're going to get. You can't. So you're going to get a source text, and it's going to be argumentative in nature. So the author will be trying to make a point, and it is how they make that point that you are analyzing. So in this limited amount of time, you are expected to read the source text, analyze the source text, understand the source text, and write your own essay that deconstructs or analyzes how that author used various modes of persuasion to make their argument. So your question now might be, what the heck are modes of persuasion? Well, these are ethos, pathos, and logos, and I'm sure you've heard those terms in your high school career, most likely in 10th grade, who knows. So, if you don't know what ethos, pathos, and logos are, your very first, right out the gate step is to go familiarize yourself with ethos, pathos, and logos. So it's important to understand what those are. And it's very important to read essays that other students have written. So this new type of essay has only been around for, 2-3 years. I lost track. But there are plenty of examples out there. If you buy a book like, the Princeton Review, something like that, that's going to have examples in there. And it's good to read the good examples, and it's good to read the bad examples. And most often, you'll see that the bad not bad, I don't want to say bad. The poorly scored essays are ones that are too short. They're ones that don't transition smoothly between paragraphs. They're ones that aren't focusing on the author's modes of persuasion, which is what the whole thing is about. So if you're not focusing on that, you're not going to get a good score. Okay, so you have a limited amount of time to understand this text, and it's really important that you annotate. So I know that is one of the most hated words by students everywhere. But what it means is you need to make notes out to the side of what you're reading. because you don't have a lot of time. When you're writing your essay, you need to reference that text and you need to immediately find what it is you're looking for. So, for example, if you're reading the text and it's about saving the environment or something, and it says something to the effect of like 20 million Americans recycle. Everybody recycles. How can you not recycle? Do you not care, about the earth? That example I gave just has a ton of persuasive devices. The 20 million Americans is Logos. That is a fact. Everybody's doing it is what's called the bandwagon appeal, and kind of like, you have to hop on the bandwagon. It's popular. And the last thing I think I said was, how could you not want to recycle? And that's a rhetorical question. So in those couple sentences alone, there's a ton of persuasive things. Wow, I can't speak anymore. I'm really tired. Okay, so you need to practice writing these essays. You need to familiarize yourself with the format. There is an introductory paragraph that you need to write. You need to write an introductory paragraph, body paragraph number 1, body paragraph number 2, body paragraph number 3, and finally, the concluding paragraph. You have to have those 5 paragraphs. I mean, unless you're just like you have to. You have to. That's the answer. So it is a long essay to write. It takes a lot of determination, a lot of analysis, and you can do it because, I've had students that came in at the beginning of tutoring. They had no idea how to write these essays, and, through reading samples and through practicing themselves, they were able to go from a really low score to a really high score. So it's all about practice. This is not something that you can just waltz into the test and do. And the reason that is because this isn't something that's taught really in school. You're taught about ethos, pathos, and logos, yes, but really deconstructing and analyzing what someone else has written is not something that a lot of teachers cover. So practice makes perfect. That was so cheesy. That was a cliche. See, if I wrote that in my source text, you could be like, that was a cliche, and it was highly unsuccessful. Yeah. So it's also very important for you to tell us, is the author successful in what they're doing? Is it going to change how you act, think, or feel? That is critical. Because if you read the source text and you, honest to goodness, feel like it wasn't very strong, or, it wasn't backed up by a lot of facts, it felt kind of iffy on the credibility side, all of these things are things you need to mention in your essay. Okay, I've inundated you with enough information. Let it sink in. I feel like if you like this video, it might bring you extra good luck on the essay too. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like and subscribe, and I will give you more tips about the SAT essay and other essays.